Hello there, and welcome back. I think I say that every video. This is Abzan Company Nostalgia Trip 3-0 up against Sam Caster Mage on the play with a good hand. Let's keep this. So I'm going to get a Temple Garden. Is that what I want? Yeah, Temple Garden. Play the Bird. Playing Bird over Noble here because Bird can cast black for Viscerous here, which will not matter in this matchup very much at all. Okay. What do I want? Do I want more mana? I think I want the more mana here. Just a little bit more explosive. I was like, unless my opponent has main board dismembers, I think that it's the right line. So opponent's going to have turn 3 Tron. And I've got nothing. Okay, now I get to sacrifice something to draw a little bit better here. Like Infinite Life doesn't do anything against Tron. I have had a paper opponent scooped Infinite Life before. He's like, I don't think I can beat that. And I was like, I'm not going to tell you can. Told him after the match. I said, I have Infinite Life. Or I think I told him, I was like, I have 30 trillion life. And he said, okay, I concede. After the match, he was like, what do you mean I had outs? I was like, well, you have Karn, right? He's like, yep. I was like, that resets the game. So that beats Infinite Life. I was like, and you have Ulamog, right? He's like, yeah, I have 2 of them. I'm like, well, Ulamog mills me to death. That beats Infinite Life. He even had a Ulamog in hand when he conceded, he told me. So I thought that was a little bit funny. What do I sacrifice here? Kitchen Finks is like an easy one because I can reset it with the Gavany, but that is pretty mana intensive. I think I want to do a stop on my upkeep. Because if I sack something on my turn, I can make Renegade Rally or like kind of buy it back to just get a couple more sack outlets. I have aggroed out Tron before with this build. It's just not how I want to win this game. It's not, once we get to that point, it's not favorable, especially since modern day Tron, like I did that back, a year ago. Modern day Tron is running a lot more Worm Coils main board. Chalice on 2. Sure. So up against probably Eldrazi Tron then. Which probably makes it a little bit better for me, to be honest. I mean, all his dust will completely end me. I don't think I can really play around that. So I'm not going to. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm short here. My opponent had all his dust. I would have cast it last turn. Okay, up to 10 mana now. This is a matchup which, being in the play, was huge, but my list is a little bit worse against Tron just because Kitchen Finks doesn't do a darn thing there. Gabby Township doesn't do anything there. Although I will say, like, I'm in a decent spot right now to just Alpha Swing, kill my opponent in 2 turns. 6, 7. Yeah, I have a lot of power in play right now. I have 7 power on the board, and that Gabby Township represents a little bit more. Like, next turn, if I go tap, tap, Gavany, I get to swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11. Put my opponent at 5. I can kill them in 2 turns with this. Of course, I'm not going to do anything. Like, they have a full hand and tons of mana, so it's not like they're going to just pass. Interesting thing to note, if they do play a Wormcoil Engine, I can just sacrifice whatever creature my opponent is blocking or is blocking the Wormcoil Engine. Smasher, I don't care about. So I have Infinite Scry now. Oh no, I forgot about the Chalice on 2. Chalice check. Oh, that was brutal. Whoops. This is why you gotta take a quick break between rounds. I haven't taken a break yet. I don't know if you notice. When I'm at a tournament, I actually go to the bathroom after every single round, even if I don't have to. I just try to chug water, so I always have to go, which helps keep me like awake. And then I like wash my face every single round, win or lose. So just like warm water on the face, it like refreshes, wakes you up, and it's like I think it does a really good job of keeping me in focus and help me from tilting. I just don't do that when I'm playing at home. I don't know why. It'd be so much easier. Like the bathroom's just right there. I know you can't see me pointing, but it's legit right there. Okay. One, two, three, 4. So I feel like I have a little bit of time because it's Eldrazi Tron. Like all is dust, I'm not winning anyway. So I'm Karn Latticed, right? That will certainly beat me. Bridge. Why didn't they just play Lattice? I guess because I can attack through it technically with the Gavany, but that would cost me my entire board. Okay. That's weird. That was just weird sequencing from my opponent. Like, they... Chalice on 0? Sure. Let's bottom that. Rallier doesn't do anything anymore because of the bridge, so let's get rid of that. Let's bottom that. Okay. Yikes. Wow. Talk about whiff city here. Yep. So one line I did think about, which I didn't articulate, yeah, I just lose the lettuce here, is I could have not activated Gavany, swung the bird at Karn and given myself another turn, but I wasn't winning this game if it was taking too long, and it was getting to that point where it was taking too long. So let's bring in removal spells. Kitchen Finks doesn't do a ton here, especially since my opponent's been bringing Grafdigger's Cage anyway, so that whole package is kind of blah. Safi and Rallier are also just not as valuable in this type of matchup. Oh, Voice is bad. And Skoos is not great. Yeah, Skoos gets too much splash damage. So if I have to get two more, I think it'd be Safi. And Offenza. I think Rallier just gives me a little bit more value than an Offenza. Absolutely be on the play. I'm looking for a Druid hand. So what does this hand do? This hand can't even cast Vizier. It has no. It doesn't follow any of my rules. There's no Mana Dork or Druid. And Druid's a Mana Dork. Let's mull this. So this hand has a Mana Dork. It's got a turn 1 Dork. Turn 2, I guess, Vizier. Turn 3, Company. So I'll keep this. And I'm actually going to bottom the Ballista. Ballista gets pretty weak in the face of Karn, and I have Shalai as another outlet for that. This hand is not great. If this is regular Tron, I would have just kept mulliganing till I had Druid, but I usually have another turn against this type of deck. This is the wrong 2-drop here, but green, 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 1, 2. So I think I'm going to chord for Druid. So I'll just pass here. They're getting the third piece. Blast Zone. Okay. So I think I have my opponent here. Okay. Endbringer. Ballista for 3. That stinks. That stinks so hard. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing I could do about it anyway. I want them to ping my bird here. So I'm gonna Coco now. That's what I have to do. I can Rallier. Rallier buys back Vizier, and I can play a Vizier. That was not a good Coco, but taking a risk here, not getting the land because I can't actually cast the other cards in my hand here. But I assume my opponent's priority is killing the Viziers. Ah, they saw right through me. Okay, so they can pump up Ballista twice, make it a 3/3. Still can't kill Shalai, but they do have a decent chance of doing that in the near future. Karn's bad for me, because Karn can just grab Bridge. Oh, my opponent has a ton of cards still in their hand. Blast Zone's a pain, especially since they now have that window. If they hadn't played Ballista, if instead they'd gone Blast Zone, I would have won. This is like, how can you lose to Eldrazi Tron? This is like it right here. They're just putting more and more bodies in play. So what I need to do is I need to Chord for Druid and have that Druid survive for a turn. Luckily my opponent didn't put anything on Blast Zone and didn't pump up the Ballista. Okay. Green, green, green. 1, 2. I think I just pass here. There's no reason not to attack with Shalai. I'm not blocking with her. So I win if my opponent can't kill my Shalai. If they have another Smasher, I'm dead. Lots of ways I'm dead here. Okay, how much mana do they have? 4, 10, 11, 12 mana. So they can kill Shalai with a 4/4 Walking Ballista, but that's not big enough to kill Shalai and both Viziers. But it almost is big enough to just straight up kill me. dismember killing Shalai and then pump the Walking Ballista would be pretty painful for me right here. If they let me get to my upkeep, though, I win. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Kill Shalai. Luckily I have the other chord in hand, so I got this, but yikes, this has been a grueler, huh? Okay. Anything different here? Wonder if Finks is better than Tracker. It says it can block. No, I think Tracker is just more important. I think I just need to grind through my opponent if they end up playing the grind game. Shalai came up huge there. I think my opponent mismanaged a little bit their Blast Zone. If they'd like put Blast Zone on 2 and just sat on it, there was nothing I could do. Nothing I could have done to win that game. I have to go back and like watch, but I think my opponent could have played that better. What do you guys think? 6 lands and a Vizier? Think it's a keep? It's just like when you're like, ooh, I need to win this, and then your deck just gives you a hand like this. This doesn't follow my rules. Opponent also mulls. They keeping 6. This just doesn't, like, what does this hand do? If I draw, like, it's just too slow, I think. My opponent's deck is pretty slow, though. But this doesn't follow my rules. I don't know why I feel nervous about going to 5 here. Like, I have a weird, like, gut feeling like I shouldn't go to 5. This would be my 6. It feels weird, like this is breaking my rule, but I just have a weird feeling about this. Yeah, I should have mulled this. I just like, I mean, maybe this will end up working out if my opponent didn't have turn 3 Tron every single game. Like, I had that weird feeling that, like, oh, this game is going to somehow be grindier, and, like, a turn 4 Collected Company should be able to do it, but when Eldrazi Tron hits Tron, Natural Tron, is that called Natural Tron, even if they have to dig for it with a map? But, I don't know. But when they always have it, it makes the decisions a little bit harder. I could have trophied their land to slow them down. I just don't think that's how I win. Yep, go ahead and get Ensnaring Bridge. You have to grab that here. You're either getting Bridge or Needle here. I think Bridge is a better line because that stops me from killing your Karn, and then you get to Lattice me next turn. Trinisphere. Yikes. Don't mind him flipping here at all. Opponents had perfect mana this entire match so far. Here's a Ballista for 4. Yeah. So I have to trophy the Ballista. They'll kill my dude. Then what do I do? Hopefully draw land to Coco. Because I could have trophied the Karn, but then I'm dead to Ballista. Ballista kills me faster than the Karn does. Okay, should have mulled. Turn 3 win. Turn 3 hand would have won this. Actually, no, they had a Ballista on 3. They had Karn on 3, but they could have Ballisted on 3. Opponent needs to get that Blast Zone on 2 and just sit there for the rest of the game. That's how Eldrazi Tron beats Devoted Druid. They somehow answer the turn 2 Druid if your opponent is smart enough to mulligan for it. Trinisphere just, I don't know, it just feels bad against me. It means they have another Karn. They're treating me like a mid-range deck here. Like, they're going to Liquid Metal Coating my lands. I don't know. I feel like Pithing Needle's the answer. You just grab Pithing Needle, pop it on Druid, and then force me to have an answer for the Pithing Needle while you keep developing your game plan. Or just, I don't know, Blast Zone on 2. That works, too. Yeah. I need a land. Again, they're just not doing anything with this Blast Zone. Like, I have the win, but they're going to have a way to kill this, right? They only have 2 cards in hand. Like, if they can't kill this Druid, then it's just game over. Oh, no. I'm going to be at 1 life here. And I have no white mana. I need to draw land. I need to draw, like, a basic plains or a basic forest. That doesn't matter. I think they have Karn here for Pithing Needle or some answer. Even Walking Ballista kills me. Yeah. Oh, man. Like, I should have mulled that hand, but... One, two, three, four. Yeah, I can only cord for one without dying. I guess I would have had to Coco, so then I Coco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I Coco into Vizier. So I would have won if they didn't have that. If they didn't have a Karn. That was close. That was real close. All right, 3-1. 5-0 Dream's dead, but I'll see you in the next one.